Hi, welcome back to West Coast Geeks. I'm your host, Joaquin. How we doing, people? Today's video is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons non-spoiler review D2 Shrine of the Kuatoa. So, this is the follow-up to D1, and if you missed that video, go check it out for the non-spoiler review, because otherwise some of the intro is going to spoil D1. So, been warned. All right, so picking back up in the series, we only got D3, Vault of the Drow, and then after that, I believe it's um, S1 follows in the series because the queen or the Q1, the queen of the demon web, something like that. I can't remember the actual name of it offhand. That doesn't come out for like another year, maybe two. So, the first year of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, the modules that came out, and I believe there was seven, maybe eight, were all tournament modules. So I'm gonna be going through those first as a non-spoiler review, and hopefully you guys will see something you like and let your DM know, and then you can find a PDF copy and or just go by some other place we can get a copy. Um, you could probably buy this from anywhere from, depending on condition, $20 to $50. So if you want to own the original, then that's the route I would go. All right, so let's go into the intro. So they're assuming that you have gone through the Rise of the Giants, and so because these were tournament adventures or modules, um, these went right into, you defeated the giants. Well, you know what? They do a better job of explaining it than I do. Background. Having put down a rising of giants, it was discovered that their motivation force behind their depredations was that of the long forgotten evil, the Dark Elves, determined to seek out these creatures. A body of um, doughty, doughty adventurers. Damn, I miss you, Eric. Mounted an expedition to learn the strength of the drow and bring retribution to them. Dungeon Module D1 Descent into the Depths of the Earth. Um, Now, let me finish this go off, before I go off the tracks for a second. Using a map which depicts hundreds of miles of passageways, the bold expedition delved into the underground labyrinth. Within a day's journey, they had to fight first an outpost of dark elves, then a pair of the dreaded Illithith? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Of drow speech creatures called mind flayers, with a dozen were rat allies. Winding ever deeper. Should have been winding? Winding ever deeper into the weird underworld, the party overcame various and sundry obstacles, only to enter a great cavern filled with hostile creatures. So, the knock on this module is that they felt it was filler, and I disagree with that. And I'll get to that more in the wrap up. But each one of these modules, including the G series, can be played as solo. So it's not like this is just a waste of a module. Like, oh, I threw away at the time. I think it was like $3 to $5. These modules were back then. They were super cheap, but we're talking this is like in late '70s. So $3 to $5 was a lot back then. Um, I digress. Move on. All right. By clever tactics and hard fighting, um, conglomerate. Conglomerate. I blame Eric on this. I hope you watch this video, but Eric, and I hope you're doing good. Forces of the servants of the evil elves, bugbears, trogs, and trolls, along with some various and sundry other monsters were overcome. Valuable additional information and possible useful items were also gained, and the expedition now presses on even deeper. Out onto the tracks of the Drow, bent on bringing a reckoning to these hateful foes. Your map shows that there are these areas of certain danger along the route the party must follow. The first to contend with is what will undoubtedly prove to be an underground river. After that, no one knows for certain. You must all exercise great care and utmost wisdom. Must be employed in all that is done if the party is to remain strong enough to continue onwards and downwards. Wow, that's a long sentence. Having to turn back would be dishonorable and possibly fatal. Yeah, so the writing was a lot different back then, and the motivation for these adventures was really a DM was like, "Hey, I bought this, and this is what we're gonna play." Not, well, my character would probably wouldn't want to do on go on this adventure, and that's when you look to your other people and go, "Do we have anybody else we can replace this guy with?" Because either he's jumping on board or he's gonna miss his. All right, so um, random encounters are very important in this module at the very beginning because these are the little bits of clues and tidbits and information that the party's going to discover that will be useful for them. Also, this is the first time that they are going into a major city of monsters of or a different race where there are no allies, you know. And this is actually getting the player characters prepared for the Vault of the Drow. And that's why I feel like this module has its place. But I get it. I mean, if you wanted to, you could skip the whole thing or have another passage where if they took this passage, they would end up here. But at the time, these were the tournament modules, and so really, why this is important in the series is because you get to experience same thing all these other tournament players. And I think some of the DMs who criticize this module forget that a lot of players were able to enjoy these tournament modules experience because not everybody knew about the tournaments, you know, or more importantly, couldn't make it. And someone like little Joaquin, at the age of 8 years old, was not going to be able to go to a Gen Con. Yeah, that makes me very sad that I have never been to a Gen Con in my life. I need to go that. So, because of these modules, I was able to DM later on and experience it as a player of what it was like to go through these tournaments and have more time to explore things. So back to the random encounter. This is going to be a super short video because I will be doing DM tips as soon as I'm done with the last tournament module for this year, and not this year of 2023, year for 1978. Um, so there are things like, you know, you're gonna find like drow patrols, but now I would mix it up. Besides the Kuatoan and the drows, I would add in the other more popular races like the Grey Dwarfs. God, I can't think of their name right there. The Drungars or Dungars or Dungars or Drungars. I would add them. Get a chance to run into the Deep Gnomes. They make their first appearance in this module, and they are pronounced. Name I'm going to butcher, but They are the Civ Nelbil or Never. I'm not even gonna try to. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we don't pronounce it again. I'm like, oh, don't make me. All right, so you get the first appearance of these gnomes, and actually, after the first appearance of these gnomes in here, a lot of people did want to play them because, like anything else, it's like this is new and shiny, and I don't blame them because a little side note here. Note that a Civ Nibelin, I think I came close on that one, of 6th level is 50% likely to be able to summon an Earth Elemental. So who wouldn't want that ability? Plus, they also have Illusionist Nature, Blindness, Blur, Change Self. Each of these spell-like abilities can be once per day by any D gnome. All these creatures always radiate a non-detection identical to the spell of the same name, which is why these creatures are able to spy on the various underground races. But later editions, they have taken that out. So, um, you know, the player characters are going to go journey through here, have random encounters, slowly start getting information. And this is where you learned a little bit in D1 about the different factions of Drow, but and at this point they're kind of you're going to start figuring out that there is a civil war going on where one group is of Drow are not encouraging their followers to support Loth or Loth. It's Loth. And so these these families are opposing each other, and that's where you're going to really get into that by Vault D3 Vault of the Drow. Let's do the wrap up. That's going to be a very short video because um, the player characters have a chance to, if they have stealth, and I mean, they recommended that. Basically, they were talking about that um the party should, if you're just gonna start with this, they should be recommended that they're like ninth level. But if they've already gone through the um against the giants, they're most likely close to 12th level by the time they wrap up and get through here, 12th, 13th level. And while most of these creatures will be a one shot to them, especially the low level guards and everything else, it's by sheer numbers that can overwhelm the party if they make mistakes. And if they get a little bit too cocky and arrogant when they're in the shrine, that it's just going to be a war of nutrition and they're going to lose because teleport doesn't work in the underground or the underdark, and it's going to be hard for them to escape if they don't plan a route um, quick. And this is where they're finding out I can't just go in there and kill an entire city. I'm sure in the comments somebody had their party do that, but it really wasn't designed to do that. It was designed for players to realize that you have to pick and choose your battles, and you definitely won't be able to do that in Vault of the Drow. Anybody who says they've wiped out the entire city is just full of it. I don't care what level you were. They even give indications when we get to the Vault of the Drow where they talk about that. Let's talk about for a second the Kuatoas. So the Kuatoas are the first. Um, I don't want to say um, because they're like fish and man mutated creatures that were um, they used to. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna read the little intro right here. The ancient Kuatoa people once inhabited the shores and islands of the upper world. As the race of mankind and its associate species grew more and more numerous and powerful, these fishmen were slowly driven to remote regions. And so these were semi aquatic creatures, were the first like major race to have a city. Now, the Drow are the second, but and I'm only saying this and I'm talking about like publication wise, you know. So this is actually getting the DMs ready for that. The other thing is because it's only like these modules back then, this is 16 pages, like 20 with the maps in the back. And these were meant for you to fill out. Like the players are going to have a map that leads them actually to the Vault of the Drow, and then the DM has a map that shows like everything else that the players don't have. They have a large scale map. So anybody who says that any of these modules, especially in the D series, are sandboxes, you're like, okay, have you seen the large scale map? Like those things are just like infinite as far as like what you can do in the direction that you go. But all in all, I feel like the Kuatoan module gets a bad rap only because there's not much to do. It's very simple. The player characters can either at the very beginning choose to um, negotiate, bluff, or figure out a way to pay the toll to go safely through the city, or they can fight their way through and just like hit and run. Just hopefully they know the way, which direction they need to go to get out of the city real quick. And a strong party could make that. Where it gets interesting is if they start to explore the shrine and they figure out a clever way to do it, because there are several ways you can do it. And I'll get into that when I do the DM's notes. So, all right, I said this could be a short video, and it's um, already at 18 minutes, but that's it in a nutshell. So, bullet points. Kuatoan, first major city of monsters that are dedicated to one species or race. You don't technically have to go through it. A lot of DMs have mentioned that they just skip it or just move it off to the side. The Kuatoans can be very deadly opponents, and I'm going to be doing some follow-up videos also too on the races once I do the Vault of the Drow, and I'm going to go back to the D series and talk about tactics because um, the Kuatoans, as you can see there with their nets, are really effective fighters, and they're just not your run of the mouth. I mean, run of the mill like troglodytes or bugbears. While those will use some tribe tactics um, every now and then, because Kuatoans are insane. And later on, you're in fifth edition. They're going to explain that the mind flayers also captured these people, and they broke. Eventually, they broke free thanks to the Githyanki and Githari rebellion. So that's it, people. I hope you enjoyed this video. Um, non-spoiler review. Hope you guys found a little cool, some things interesting. As a DM, this is a nice module to read through and get some cool ideas how to build your own underground shrine. Maybe for the God, I can't think of the Dunger or Dungars, the dark the dark dwarves. No, they call them something else. Off today. Oh, that's a good sign to quit. So with that, people, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell notification so you don't miss a video. And usually my boy Eric does these videos with me, but he's going through a rough time in life right now. So I hope you're doing good, brother. And hope to see you guys next week. Take care.